Well, good morning. Today is Sunday, December 20th, and I just reminded myself I forgot to turn the calendar.
It's 2:53. Good afternoon.
Actually, it's 2:53. Good afternoon. Mickey Mouse is telling me. She's telling me. He's telling me. Sandy, get the right time right. I'm just so used to saying good morning, but it's really good afternoon. But anyway, we do have birthdays today. Today is Mary Ann Dunham's birthday. So Mary Ann, you get a song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mary Ann. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. It's also Cindy Pope's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cindy. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, I also have it in my calendar that it's your anniversary, too. Okay, Cindy, what were you thinking? You're doing this on a holiday week. You've got your birthday, your anniversary, and your Christmas present all wrapped up into one gift. It's not about the giving, it's about the receiving, I understand, but you're only going to receive one gift. Oh, look at me thinking of gifts. But anyway, Cindy, it's your anniversary, and you still haven't told me what your significant other's name is. You're still going to get a song. Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy, 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 happy anniversary, happy, 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 happy anniversary, happy anniversary. Anyway, what was I going to talk about today? Okay, I know I'm going to get scolded and scold away, but I didn't do a menu plan for this week. I know it's a holiday week. I know it's Christmas. I'm not doing Eve of Christmas Eve and all that stuff. I'm not doing any of that this year. It has put me in a little bit of a down mood, but my video, if you saw it yesterday with my kids, gave me a video that perked me up. It really did perk me up. But there's 2 weeks left of this year. Can't get over soon enough as far as I'm concerned. But I've decided that I'm just going to take a week off. Not off my plan, because I do plan on staying on my plan. I do plan on doing that, but I'm just putting too much stress on myself, and I want to enjoy the least little bit of this holiday that I can. And if I'm going to be stressing over food and my food choices and whether I can have a piece of fudge or is it in my points and blah, 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 I'm just not going to do it this week. I'm going to be really mindful of my eating. I'm definitely going to be mindful of my eating. But I'm just not going to stress. I'm just going to take a respite, just a 1 week respite, and not a go crazy respite. Just a 1 week. Let's sit back and reevaluate what we're going to do, and just get back on track. It's just not that I've really fallen off track, because I really haven't fallen off track that much. And I did have a loss. My goal is to have a loss every week. And I did have a 0.2 loss, which is a loss. Nonetheless, it's a loss. Not a great loss, but it's a loss. But and it's better than a 0.2 gain. I would have really been upset. If you thought I was upset with the 0.2 loss, can you only imagine what I would have done with a 0.2 gain? But I have the 3 Ds. I have drive, desire, and determination. And I think with those 3 Ds, I am going to be successful. I think that if I can just do a maintenance week this week, which my goal is this week, is I'm just trying to maintain for the week. I think I've pretty much proven to myself that I know how to do maintenance, because I'm staying within the same 5 pounds for months now. And I'm proud of the fact that I haven't gained, and I'm proud of the fact that I've lost almost 95 pounds. It's a small person, if you really think about it. But I just know I'm going to succeed on this journey. I really do. And I just know that, nothing's impossible. Nothing is impossible, because the word itself says possible right inside of it. It says I'm possible instead of impossible. And it's possible that I probably won't reach my 100 pounds this year. That was my goal when I first started off the year. But with the way this year turned out, losing almost 26 pounds over the whole year, considering the pandemic and how it would have been so easy to turn to food, and when I see on YouTube how many people did have weight gains during this past year, all the stresses that we've had on our life for this past year, I'm proud of my accomplishment. It it's not going to change my life by losing the other 5 pounds before the end of the year. It's really not going to change my life that much. Granted, the more weight I lose, the more my life is changing. I understand that. But I'm just too consumed with that number. And I have to remember how well I feel. And I really do think that the reason I'm staying somewhat healthy, because I think I am a somewhat healthy person, is that I'm eating properly. And when I go off track and I eat the wrong things, and not so much that they're the wrong things, when I eat things that in excess, that would be a better way of saying it. When I eat foods in excess, I feel pretty crappy. I really do. And I just have to remember how well I feel and how much I enjoy eating healthy. I miss my donuts. I'm not going to lie. I miss my donuts. I was really just thinking the other day that I should make my apple donuts that I do like, that Jim even likes, which were low in points. So I'm thinking that I'm probably going to make those one day this week for Jim and I. And I always like that little ice cream treat I make with the graham crackers and the Weight Watchers fudge bars. I might, I'm not going to eat anything in excess this week. Like I said, I'm still going to eat as healthy as I possibly can. But I'm not going to stress. I'm going to enjoy the week the best I can, and especially be mindful on the 23rd, when I would have normally celebrated with my kids and my grandkids. On Christmas Eve, when we would have normally gone out to breakfast with my family. And on Christmas Day, when my whole family would have showed up and we would have celebrated on Christmas Day. I just have to just know that things are going to be better next year, and I'll reach my goals next year. I'll meet all my goals. I'll hit my actual Wonderland goal. I'll hit my 100-pound loss goal, and I'll hit my goal that I want to set for my weight, what I want to weigh. I'm going to hit all of that. And whether it's with Weight Watchers or not, I'm still debating on that. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I say that a lot. I'll be honest with you. I'm always honest with you. I don't know why I always say to be honest with you. But it really does look like they're heading down a bad track. It does look, maybe they're in a reorganization process or something, but they got a lot of people upset, starting with their mass firing on Zoom, and then now just doing the virtual meetings. I mean, I think in my area we do have in-person meetings, but I don't go to anything in person, so I don't go to those. But after 4 years, I really know the plan. I really do know the plan. I have enough of my food journals, which I've kept for the whole 4 years, that I can always refer back to them. I do have my books from Weight Watchers that I can always look at them. And the thing I will miss is I do enjoy doing the weekly highlight meetings with you on Saturdays. And I will miss doing those, but I figure that I can figure out some way to have a meeting topic on Saturdays and come up with my own plans. That doesn't necessarily, and then maybe come up with my own recipe. That might be something I might look into doing, but I'm reevaluating where direction this channel is going to be going in the new year. I definitely am going to still be on a weight loss track. I'm definitely still going to share my stories because you seem to like my stories, and I like to do it as a kind of like a living journal for my kids and my grandkids, that in the future they can always look at them. There's so many, I don't know how they'd figure out which, although when I do have them on my list, I do have story time listed so that they can figure it out that way. But I just at the end of the year is a year of reflection, and I've just started a little bit early. I've started 11 days early to reflect on my thoughts and my goals and things that I want to do in 2021. And definitely still going to share my stories with you because I enjoy them, and you seem to enjoy them too. So I was going to continue on with yesterday's story to explain a little bit about the it was the trip from hell, that trip. And I know I said I do swear a lot. I apologize once again for Christy with her mouth, but I own it. She got that from her mother. She did. Jim's dad never swore. Jim's father, one time, I think I've told this before, Jim's dad had asked Danny, have you ever heard your dad swear? And he thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. And he says, well, maybe 3 or 4 times. He says, oh my goodness. And he said, what about your mom? And he says, oh, I don't have to think about that. 3,000 or 4,000 times. So it's like, my kids learned very early on. sometimes, I mean, they're nasty words, I agree, but sometimes it's the proper adjective, if you know what I mean. I know it's kind of hard to believe a Christian like me would say that, but it's not like I go around my everyday life saying it, but I guess I say it a lot when I think about it. But anyway. So anyway, the trip from H-E-double-L, or H-E-double hockey sticks. How's that sound? That sounds even better. We used to say that when we were a kid, thinking we were swearing. Or my Aunt Marge always used to say shite instead of shit. Because she'd never say that word, but then she'd say, oh, shite. And so when we started saying it, my mother said, you can't use that, that's a bad word. And we go, well, Aunt Marge says it all the time. That doesn't make it right. So we went to Boston for a family reunion. And we drove, and I, at the time, was watching David and Alyssa while Jimmy and Cindy worked. And it was in the summer, and they were obviously still working. And so I told them that I would bring David and Alyssa with us when we went to Boston for our family reunion. And I think Alyssa was 4, maybe 5, and David was about 10. And so then Christy followed us behind, and did she have Sophia at the time? I'm wondering if she had Sophia. She probably had Sophia. She would have been a baby. But then Christy and Aaron followed us in her car, and then Denise and my sister Mary, and then Denise's 2 kids, Josh and Kylie, followed in another car. And because we kind of went in as a caravan to drive, and we drove to Boston. We cut through Canada, which was our shortcut. It's better than going through Ohio, Pennsylvania, and then New York. We would just like shoot across Canada, and then we come back and go through, and go to Boston. So we went to Boston. We had a really good time. We were there. I think we were there like 4 or 5 days, but we had a really good time. And so then it was time to go home, and we were going to go home, and we had planned on our way going home that we were going to stop at Niagara Falls. We were going to spend the night in Niagara Falls, and then spend the day in Niagara Falls, spend another night in Niagara Falls, and then go home the next day. That was our plan. So we were driving. It was like the worst weather when we left. It was pouring rain. It was a stressful drive because of the rain. And Alyssa was just getting me so upset because we would stop at a rest stop and everybody would go to the bathroom. And Alyssa kept saying she didn't have to go. And I'd make her sit on the toilet and I'd say, go, go. And she wouldn't go. She just wouldn't go. She said, I don't have to go. I don't have to go. And then we'd get back in the car and we would be like 5 miles from the rest stop. And she'd say, I got to go to the bathroom. I was getting so pissed. And then between the rest stops back then, there was like 20, 30, 40 miles between rest stops. And then she'd say, I gotta go. And it was like we had that, we had the rain, we had her crying in the back seat, she had to go to the bathroom. Her and David, by that point, had enough of each other, and they were arguing over their blankets. They each had their own blanket, but they were arguing over their blankets, that they wanted to be wrapped up in their blankets. And Alyssa kept bugging David for attention, and it was terrible. So then we were going to get on the expressway, to get onto the bridge, and we made a wrong turn down this street. And we were going the wrong way on the street. Not the wrong way on the street, but the wrong way to get to the bridge. And we came to the end, and it was like a casino had blocked the whole way, and we couldn't get out. Jim was so mad because we couldn't figure out where we were going. And we were the lead car. I had the map. So don't ever let me be the one with the map. But I had the map, and we were going, and Jim got so upset, and he just drove off, and went through the light, didn't wait, and then we went through the light, and the light turned red for everybody else in the pack, and Jim kept on going. And I said, Jim, you got to pull over, we got to get them. He says, I don't care about them, they can figure out their way. And I said, well, we got the map, and we got into this big, huge argument. We were arguing, and then finally figured out a way to get to the bridge, to go over to Canada, and the line was hours and hours, because they had like little signs like, you have reached this point, 5 hours till you get to the bridge. It was like, oh, and the kids were arguing, they're fighting. I was calling on the phone trying to tell my sister and my sisters and Christy where we were. We were off to the side of the road. We all hooked up. We found it, and I kept getting this phone. I finally got this phone call, and I stopped at get the phone call. And they had told us that the reservations for the hotel the hotel went out of business, and there was no reservations. Now we got lost. we had to pull over to the side. At this point, I had called my cousin who lives in Canada, and I know that she goes over that crossing. She told us a different way to go to get to a bridge. I think another bridge or another bridge that we could go to, but it was like backtracking, so we had to backtrack to go back. And we got to that bridge, and we were in line for that, and it was like, oh, forever. And in the meantime, I'm on the phone with whoever it was. I don't even remember who it was that we were dealing with. One of the sites that you deal with that, like Experian, not like Experian, like with the GNOME, that guy, Travelocity. It wasn't Travelocity, but like one of these little things like that back then. And they were trying to work with us to find another hotel since that hotel went out of business. And we were like, and the kids were fighting, and Jim was mad, and it was like, oh, and we hadn't eaten dinner yet, and it was like 10:30 at night, and it was awful. It was just awful. And we were arguing the whole time. Jim and I were arguing and arguing. And we finally get over the bridge. We stopped first at Wendy's to get something to eat. Well, the dining room was closed. You got to get it through the drive-thru. And we thought, what the heck? We'll just take it through the drive-thru. We'll bring it back to the hotel. So we get the Wendy's, and we go back to the hotel, and we pull up to this hotel. It was like one of these by the hour motels, if you know what I mean. It was awful. It was just awful. And so I called the agent, and I go, oh my God, you booked us into an adult motel. And he said, no, children can go there. And I go, no, it's like a sex motel. That's where you booked us into. It's a by the hour motel. And he says, oh. He said, well, that's the only thing there's available because it was a holiday. It was a weekend in the summer, so it was like, I'm sorry, you can stay there for tonight, and then we'll just make you new reservations tomorrow. And so I said, fine. So we checked in. We had to pay for 2 nights because that's what we were booked. They wouldn't take it. I said, well, you have it like by the hour. And he said, well, no, they've already, your travel company is already booked for both nights, and it's already paid for both nights. You're going to have to go through them to get your refund. And I says, well, we're not staying here for 2 nights. And he says, well, this is, whatever. So we checked in. It was awful. It was like the rooms had not been cleaned in years. It was stains. It was just bad. It was just so bad. And we brought our own blankets up. We stripped the beds completely. I don't even know that we even should have laid on the mattresses. They were that bad. We completely stripped the beds. We wrapped ourselves up in our own blankets and went to sleep for the night. We got up really early. I didn't sleep the whole night. I'm just thankful I didn't have one of those ultra-ray lights because I know the room would have lit up like a dead body. It just would have lit up. I know that. So in the morning we get up and, as a joke, my sister said, well, I wonder if they have a buffet, a continental breakfast. I said, I know if they do, I'm not going to eat it. So we're bringing our luggage back down, and I can pack a lot in the trunk. I am no match for my cousin Lynn. My cousin Lynn can pack your whole house into the trunk of a Volkswagen. She's got a knack for packing. But I had like a system going, and I could pack everything. And when we had gone, because we had the kids swim in the ocean, we had brought those little $5, we got them at the Five and Below store, those little surfboards, body surfboards. And Jim was just like throwing things in the trunk, and it wasn't working, and he was going to put stuff in the back seat, and I said, well, let me do the trunk. Then we started arguing right away with that. It was like, that's fine. So we ended up, we did bring the surfboards home. There was a bag of toys for the kids. We're not bringing them because they don't fit in the car. And it was like, so we started the morning off arguing. So then we go to Niagara Falls, and we were very fortunate. We walked right onto the Maid of the Mist, and we got really good, like spot on the Maid of the Mist. And it was a rainy day. It was like a miserable day. And then there was another one we wanted to see that was closed. And then Alyssa started acting up. And then everybody was just getting like tense. And so we all made the unanimous decision that, done. We're done. Stick a fork in us. We're done. Let's go home. So we all decided we're just going to go home. So we get on the expressway to go home, or the highway or whatever. And we're going home, and we're coming up to this turnoff. And we want to go east. But it's like 4-lane exits. And 2 of the lanes are going to go east, and 2 of the lanes are going to go west. Because it was a really big highway. And so when we're approaching it, and now I have Aaron and Christy, and by this point they've downloaded a Google app on their phones. They don't trust us anymore. And so we're going on the thing, we're getting on the expressway, and so I told Jim, as we're getting on, I said, there's 4 lanes exiting. We want to be in the far left of the 2 lanes because they're going west, and we want to go west. We don't want to go east. And so he's staying in the very first lane, which is going to go east. I think we were getting up to the 401. I think that's where we were going. And so I kept saying, Jim, you need to get over. We're going west. You're in the east lane. He says, well, you said that we're exiting on this exit. And I go, yes, this is the exit. This is the exit. But we don't want to be in these 2 lanes. We want to be in one of those 2 lanes over there. And he says, no, those are continuing on. And I go, no, they're not. They're going west. Where we're at right now, we're going to go east. We don't want to go east. And he says, yes, we do. We live in the east. And I go, yes, we live in the east, but we live west of here. And we're arguing. And then my sister was behind us, and Christy was behind her. They were like in the 2 lanes like that, getting ready to go the correct way. And they're honking their horns at us. And I says, they're letting us over, Jim. We want to get over there. He says, no, that's not the way. We want to stay in this lane. I go, no, we don't. We want to go that way. And just at that point, they continued on going the right way, and we went to this way. I said, we're going the wrong way, Jim. He said, no, we're not. And I go, yes, we are. We should see a sign that says Sarnia in so many kilometers. We're not going to see a sign for Sarnia because we're going the wrong way. And he said, well, no, we're not. And I go, yes, we are. So we're driving and driving. We pass up an exit. I said, aren't you going to get off and turn around? He says, no, we're going the right way. Oh, no, it was before that. It was just before that when we got in the car. That's when they were going crazy like that before he was doing it. Alyssa was aggravating David and aggravating him and aggravating him and aggravating him. And then that's when Jim was reaching behind and he was trying to swat her to calm her down. That was going to make her worse. But he was at that point at a future pitch because we had a terrible day at Niagara Falls. We checked out of the hotel. He couldn't get the stuff in the trunk the right way. It was just like, it was bad. And so he's trying to hit Alyssa, and Christy was right behind us, and then she saw us. And then that's when we had the argument about, when he finally turned around, we had the argument about turning off of the expressway. And so we're driving along, and I says, if you weren't so much concentrating on trying to hit Alyssa, we would have been continuing on our way the right way, but we're going the wrong way now. And he says, no, we're not. And I said, yes, we are. And so then I brought up on my phone a Google app. And so I brought up the Google app and the map thing, and I punched in where we wanted to go. And only then did he realize we were going the wrong way. So he said, oh, well, we're going the wrong way. Oh, I don't know what to do now. And I go, well, we turn around and get on that side going that way. And he passes up the next exit. And I go, what are you doing? He says, well, we're going the wrong way. And I said, so what, are we going to go hit the Atlantic Ocean again, drive down to Boston and start again? Is that what your plan is? And so then we're like, we're arguing. So finally he gets off at the next exit and makes a right-hand turn. Now the expressway's to the left. Why are you going right? So we turned right and we're driving along, and I go, can I ask you where we're going? And he says, we're going to get back on the expressway. And I go, the expressway's that way. Oh, you think you know more? You want to drive? And I go, at this point, yes. Well, there's a rule. You don't let Sandy drive. Anybody will tell you that. I says, fine, pull over, I'll drive. He says, I'm not going to drive. We'll just turn around. We'll go your way. And I go, fine, let's go my way. So he turns around, does a U-turn. Thankfully, we didn't get a ticket. He makes a U-turn. We come back to the expressway. He gets on the ramp going west. Jim, you got on the wrong ramp. We're going the wrong way still. We want to go that way. And he goes, no, this is the way. I go, fine. And I just opened up my book. I'm thinking, we're going to have to get a room tonight because this is the wrong way to go home. So finally, I see him. I don't say a word. He gets off at the next exit, gets off, turns left, comes back, gets right back on the expressway the right way. So we're driving. I'm thinking, okay, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say I told you so. Because after we went a little bit, we saw the sign for Sarnia. And so he says, oh, I think this is the way we're going. I think where our mistake was that we went east instead of west. And I could have very easily started another argument. Oh my gosh, look how long I've been talking. We could have very easily started another argument, but I thought, no, let it go. It's not worth it. So then we come up to the crossroads where you can either go to Sarnia or Windsor. Now, either one will get us home. Windsor's going to take us about an hour longer if we go to Windsor. Because Windsor comes across through Detroit, and Sarnia comes across through Port Huron. We live closer to Port Huron than we do to Detroit. Does he not turn to go towards Windsor? I says, Jim, where are you going? He says, well, I'm going home. And I go, we wanted to go to Sarnia. He says, no, we don't. We want to go to what? We want to go to Windsor. Okay, we're going to go to Windsor. So we went home through Windsor, and then when we get to Windsor, and we're going through the tunnel, and we come out, and we're in Detroit. He said, you know, we probably should have got off at Sarnia. You think? I was just so. My family got home 2.5 hours before us. We drove an extra 2.5 hours. Trip from HE double hockey sticks. It was bad. But we survived. But the rule is just don't let Sandy drive. But the rule is listen to Sandy because she knows where she's going sometimes. But all right, sorry I talked so long today. Boy, I was really long-winded. But anyway, thank you for watching. As always, stay safe, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Only got 5 more stories till Christmas.